climate change, the South China Sea, and the DPRK's nuclear program. Just some of the issues on the table as Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi kicks off a 3-day visit to the United States. He and U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry just concluded a news conference at the U.S. State Department. It lasted, by my count, about 50 minutes. Both leaders had a lot to talk about. And at the State Department is where we find CCTV's Sean Caleb. Sean, tell us more about what they talked about. Certainly areas of agreement, but also disagreement.
I think, Asya, you hit the nail on the head when you talked about the fact that it was an extensive news conference. And this is the third time that Secretary of State John Kerry, as well as Foreign Minister Wang Yi, have met within the last 30 days. So they're becoming very familiar with each other's talking points. Wang Yi started out by saying, look, our two nations have far more in common than any disagreements, and went on to say that the desire to work together also outweighs any friction. And that really set the tone for this long, extensive news conference when they went into specifics about things they do agree on and perhaps things that they want to work together more closely on. Let's start with the DPRK. Secretary Kerry talking about Kim Jong-un's recent action of a nuclear test, as well as sending a rocket into space, calls it a provocative action, said it was a clear violation of UN mandates, and the United States wants to punish the DPRK with economic and other sanctions. Now, for China's standpoint, again, agreeing that it certainly was a violation of the UN mandates, and went on to say that having a nuclear state in the DPRK under Kim Jong-un is in no one's best interest. But China and the United States disagree on how they should approach this violation with the DPRK. Listen to what Wang Yi had to say, followed by Secretary Kerry.
China would like to emphasize that the Security Council resolution cannot provide a fundamental solution to the Korean nuclear issue. To really do that, we need to return to the track of dialogue and negotiation. And the Secretary and I discussed this many times, and we agree on this.
Those violations threaten not only the peninsula, but they also are a threat to international peace and security. We therefore need to respond accordingly, and we agreed today to continue our efforts to make certain that response is forthcoming rapidly.
Now let's move on to the controversy over the South China Sea. There are islands off the coast of China that have historically been China's. They have claimed them for some time. Now, some of these islands are also claimed by other nations. The United States has been very concerned about this, and also what it labels the militarization of these islands, specifically looking at China building a runway on one island, perhaps putting surface-to-air missiles on another. But China has been very clear, saying, look, these are islands that have historically been China's. And if you want to talk about militarizing the region, talk about what the United States has done, bringing warships off the coast of these islands on at least 2 occasions within the last 5 months, also flying bombers over the area. A major concern to China, and has openly wondered if this continues to happen, then perhaps something could spiral out of control, Asiye.
All right, CCTV's Sean Caleb's live for us at the State Department.